Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're all doing well. I'm super tired, so this won't be a long one because I was up really late last night doing a live stream on the release of the BG video. Oh, dear me. I don't know how many times I've listened to it now. I don't know how many times. Loads of different versions and so many different interpretations. How can something that's only 43 seconds long create so many different suggestions of what's being said and interpretations of it? So when I just talk about that a little bit, I have been super busy today, but I have done a different edited version. So live stream yesterday, I did a very quickly put together edited version, but I've done another one. So I'm going to show you that. But there's some court stuff that we need to talk about as well. So we'll do that too. We'll do everything. We'll do everything. It's super quick time. Thank you so much, Krista. You are so generous. How could anyone convict a man using this video as part of the process? Exactly. It's so open to interpretation. The whole thing. What are we actually seeing? Are we seeing two girls just having fun walking across the bridge with a guy behind them? Or are we seeing two girls who are going down the hill to get away from him? Are we seeing two girls who've already spoken to him? I don't know. I don't really know what we're seeing. So, yeah, exactly. But thank you so much for the donation. We got Whispers, who's been a member for 2 months, and we've got Lisa, who's been a member for 24 months. You have got your OG badge. Whoop, whoop. Well done. And thank you for being a member for 24 months. All right, let's say a couple of hellos while we're here. Down with love, hello and good morning to you. It must be really early for you. Really early morning. But happy Friday. We got CC, we got CW. Shoveling horse poo, as always, this time of day. Petunia from Colorado. Yeah, I agree. It's like they're talking about the path. What path? Well, Libby's talking about the path. That there's no path here, we go down here. So why? Is it because that's where they were going anyway? And that was my first thought last night. I thought they were going down there anyway. But now I'm thinking, well, why were they going down there? Was it just because they could? Or was it because they'd spoken to him previous? Or were they going down there to get rid of him? So had they spoken previous? Like, aware that some guy was following them. So they thought, I know what, let's go down, let's go across the bridge and go down the hill, and maybe he won't follow us there. I don't know. I don't know what we're seeing. I just don't know what we're seeing. So I'm super confused. I'm more confused now than I was last night. So I'm glad that I did my live stream last night without watching anyone else's lives or anyone else's interpretations, because I would have just come live being super confused. But I genuinely don't know what we're seeing. Hello, Cheryl, Natty Lady, Cherry. We got Aqua, Wendy. It ain't the butterfly, it's the Tootsie Roll, KW. We got some Mimi, member for 7 months, and Purple Lady. Hello to you, member for 41 months. That's crazy. You must be my second longest member. I think Daughter of Scotland is the first ever member. Hey, Purple AJ has gifted 10 memberships. Can we go back? Can we go back? Let's go back. Let's go back. We have got Cherry Pops, Natty, and Angelia. Is it? 9 lives. Deets on the streets. Hello, Deets. We got Sarah, Love America. Let me go down. I need a mouse or something. We got Aunt Clara. We got Shia, Enid. There we go. Thank you so much, Purple AJ. You are a superstar. And if you've never been a member before, enjoy your monthly membership. Go and check out the members area. And if you've been a member before, welcome back. All right, so we'll start with the court stuff. I think we'll start with the court stuff. So we'll actually start with this one. So these are hot off the press. These are orders from Judge Gull. These literally came out today. So good old style here. She never disappoints. The court, having had defendant's motion to preserve and produce specific evidence under advisement, and having reviewed the state's response and Richard Allen's verified reply memorandum to State of Indiana's response to preserve and produce and request for sanctions, now denies defendant's motion to preserve and produce evidence and request for sanctions without hearing. Oh dear. And there's another. There's actually a new filing which came out a couple of days ago. And this was to reconsider. Basically asking Judge Gull to reconsider. So it's only short. We'll read this. I won't leave you in suspense, though. She denies this one too. But this came out, I think it was the 11th. So it comes now, the defendant, Richard Allen, by counsel, files this motion to reconsider. Is that blurry? It looks blurry to me. Maybe it's just the copy. I'm reading this off Reddit, so maybe it's just the copy. For the reasons that follow, in light of Glossop v. Oklahoma, which was from just last month, February 25th, 2025, Mr. Allen requests the court reconsider its denial of that motion and either vacate Mr. Allen's conviction or set the motion for a hearing. It's all they want. They want a hearing. It's all they want. They'd rather having the conviction vacated, which doesn't let him off. It just sets it back to the beginning. You vacate the conviction and you do it again. All right, at trial, the state argued that Brad Weber came home from work in his Ford Econoline van on February 13, 2017 at approximately 2:30. We've been through all this. Previously, but they're having one more go. The state also argued that Libby's cell phone did not move after 2:32 p.m. on February 13, 2017. The state further introduced a confession written by Dr. Monica Waller that Richard Allen told her that on February 13, 2017, he kidnapped Abigail Williams and Libby German on the south side of the Monon High Bridge and was on the south side of Deer Creek with the girls, intending on raping them when he saw a van and became scared. Richard Allen allegedly told Dr. Waller that after he saw the van, he forced Abby and Libby to cross Deer Creek to the north side, where he ultimately killed them. As set out in his motion, the state knew or should have known that Brad Weber's trial testimony that he returned home in his van around 2:30 on February 13th before Libby's phone permanently stopped at 2:32 was false. See motion to correct errors at 8:13 and the attached exhibits. So we've shown those on previous live streams, so I'm not going to go and route back for those. In fact, Mr. Webber arrived on his private drive after 2:44 p.m., as can be evidenced on a surveillance camera that it kind of looked onto the road. It was like at a distance, but clearly see Brad Webber arriving home and, going into the tree line, and then that would have taken him under the Monon High Bridge, and then he would have gone up a little hill to the driveway of his house, his mother's house, where he was staying. So he's not going to get home before 2:46, maybe, give him a couple of minutes. And then his phone started pinging from his house at 2:50, so it makes sense that he came home at that time. And of course, the state could come along and say, yeah, but the clock on that surveillance camera was wrong. But that's not the point. The state had that footage. The state could have used that footage and said, we've done an investigation and this clock is a little bit wrong. They'd have to provide some evidence as to why they thought it was wrong, but they could have done that. They should have done that, but they didn't do that. So this is the big problem with Brad Webber's testimony, that it's provably false, which means that Richard Allen's confession that he supposedly gave to Dr. Monica Waller doesn't make sense. And the entire case is built on Richard Allen's confession that he made to Monica Waller when he was psychotic, that we've no proof that he ever said those words to her, because one of the only times in his 13 months at Westville that he wasn't on camera, surprise, surprise. And the BG video, those are the two things that the state relied on to convict Richard Allen, and the jury bought it. Unfortunately, the jury bought it. Anyhow, where were we? In fact, Mr. Webber arrived on his private drive after 2:44, well after Libby's phone stopped moving on the north side of Deer Creek at 2:32. See motion to correct errors, Exhibit 3. Additionally, 3E to the motion to correct errors. An FBI subject information sheet for Mr. Webber shows that Mr. Webber's cell phone, and this is going to be the 250 thing, started pinging its family's home at 2:50 that day. Also, well after Libby's phone stopped moving at 2:32 on the north side of Deer Creek. The pinging of Brad Webber's phone is consistent with his arrival after 2:42 and not consistent with an arrival time of 2:30. And look, it had to be well after 2:42. Like, it passes by the camera at 2:44, but it's still got some ways to go to actually get to the house. So it's going to have passed by Monon High Bridge at, say, 2:45. He's home 2:46. It makes sense his phone starts pinging at 2:50 when he's probably got his phone out and he's interacted with it. So it's pinged off the tower. Not consistent with the arrival time of 2:30. In light of the security video on the FBI subject information sheet for Brad Webber, the state's narrative that Mr. Webber's interrupted Mr. Allen before 2:32 is impossible, and the state knew it. Now, this is where this new case, Glossop versus Oklahoma, comes in, which is just a month old. So this is, in addition to what they've said previously, the basic common sense that Brad Webber's testimony is wrong, and that negates the entirety of Richard Allen's confession. But we've got this new case now. So In Glossop versus Oklahoma, decided last month, the United States Supreme Court said, so it's United States Supreme Court. So this is a law of the entire United States. So they can't come along and say, oh yeah, but this is Oklahoma, we're in Indiana. Well, no, this gone all the way to the United States Supreme Court. So it actually is relevant to Indiana. So the Oklahoma Courts of Criminal Appeals also held that Snead's testimony was not clearly false because Snead was more than likely in denial of his mental health disorders. So that must have been something that was, I don't know, debated. It's not apparent why the OCCA thought Snead was in denial, nor why such denial should have caused Snead to believe that he had never seen a psychiatrist when in fact he had. Even supporting it, what does that say? Did? Can't read this. It's blurry. However, Snead's beliefs are beside the point. What matters is that his testimony was false and a prosecutor knowingly let it stand nonetheless. Okay, so this is why this is relevant to Richard Allen. That the prosecutor knew that whatever Snead was saying was false. He knew, but he let it stand. And in Allen's case, the prosecutor knew that Brad Weber's testimony was false. He had to know, but he let it stand. So this is a direct, comparison to this case, this Oklahoma case, Glossop versus Oklahoma. That the prosecutor knew, but let it stand nonetheless. And the United States Supreme Court have got involved in this. Thank you, Rachel, or Rochelle, maybe, for the 10 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. You are so kind. Okay. It's established that a conviction obtained through use of false evidence known to be such by representatives of the state must fall under the 14th Amendment. Glossop versus Oklahoma. Okay. Regardless of whether Mr. Weber thought he arrived home about 2:30, the state knew or should have known Mr. Weber's testimony was false because they had the video. The video was in their discovery. So it wasn't something that the defense found, after the fact. No, this was in the discovery. Yet another thing that was in the discovery. Thank you, Kimberly, for gifting 5 memberships. We've got Boy Mama, Miss D. Mai, BGOG, Judy, and SJ. So welcome. And again, if you've never been a member before, go and check out the members area. Enjoy your month's free membership. Go and watch some live streams and stuff and some funny bloopers, me falling over, basically. I'm not falling over for a while. I'm due a good fall. So anyhow, thank you, Kimberly. You're so kind. All right, so the state refused to correct Mr. Weber's testimony, and letting his false testimony stand violated Mr. Allen's due process right to a fair trial, as stated in and argued by Mr. Allen in his motion to correct errors. Because the state explicitly relied on Mr. Weber's false testimony to obtain Mr. Allen's conviction, Mr. Allen is entitled to a new trial. A new trial is warranted so long as the false testimony may have had an effect on the outcome of the trial. That is, if it is, any reasonable likelihood could have affected the judgment of the jury. Well, it was central. Brad Weber was like the gotcha moment, according to the state. What else? What else did they have? Does your iPhone 6S record such clear, vivid, distant video? the iPhone 6S has a pretty nice little camera to it. Pretty nice camera. I mean, the close up the 6S takes is really good. Not so good in the distance, but yeah, it was a very, very good camera for its time, and still is a nice little camera. So yeah. When I first started YouTube, I recorded for maybe at least a year on an iPhone 6S. Okay. So yeah, the confession was central, absolutely central. It was the confession in the BG video that the state hung their hat on. And now we've seen the full BG video, I don't know what we're seeing. So you can't land someone in prison for 130 years based on that. So then we're just left with the confession. And the confession is provably false because of Weber. So yeah. All right. Okay. In light of Glossop's unambiguous reaffirmation of nephew, the court should reconsider its denial of Mr. Allen's motion and either vacate its convictions or set Mr. Allen's motion for a hearing. And that was written by Jennifer Auger. And just today, Judge Gold has come along with the court takes no action on defendant's motion to reconsider denial of motion to correct error, as the notice of appeal was filed with the Indiana Court of Appeals clerk of the court on March the 11th at 2:19 p.m. So she's gone and looked at the time. So because they'd filed an appeal on the same day, but 2 hours previous, she's not going to do anything with it. She's not going to consider it. Look, she could if she wanted to. And she just hasn't. But look, it's creating a record. That's all it's doing. It's creating a record. But what we do have is here, Richard M. Allen versus the state of Indiana in the Court of Appeals. So this is just a notice that the appeal has been filed. So it's got a new case number. So it is now officially in the Court of Appeals. And we don't have any documentation yet from this, but this is the case that we're now watching. Because now the trial court, Judge Gold, has washed her hands of it. She washed her hands of it. Because it's been filed, she's not going to do anything else. So it's now down to the Court of Appeal to take a good look, to take a jolly good look at this case. Yeah, let's hope she's not buddies with the staff of the Court of Appeals. Look, we don't know how dirty this water runs there in Indiana, do we? We don't know quite yet just how dirty it runs. Whether it's just something to do with Gull and her, I don't know, relationship with Nick McClelland, whether it's to do with Carroll County specifically, we don't know. We've got a lot. We got a lot to hope for now. Got a lot to hope for now. So that's where the case is. And it's going to be a long road, though. I think the last-ditched effort by Jennifer Auger to get Judge Gould to reconsider, it basically bypasses the entire appeals process for her to reconsider and say, all right, at the very, very least, let's hear all of these complaints and let the state answer them. But no, of course not. Of course not. All right, let's go to the BG video. I'm just going to show you my new edit that I did. And can we just appreciate how clear that picture is? That's what the iPhone 6s excels on. Like, really nice little camera for its time. So clear. All right, so like my edits that I did yesterday, I've reduced this to just 10% speed. So it's not quite frame by frame, but it's very, very, very slow. So it ruins the audio, but you get a very clear picture. And where I've been able to, I've changed the orientation. So like Libby's moving the phone around. Yeah, she does need to be arrested. She does. If this was the original, why was it necessary to manipulate and change the video? BG is clearer in this video than anything that the police in Indiana. I know. I know. I know. I don't know why they just didn't release this entire video. There's nothing in this video that is, you know, graphic or anything like that. Maybe it's because it is too open to interpretation. Who knows? But yeah, the BG's voice is clearer on this original, and also like you can actually see him walking, so you get an idea of his gait and his size. Thank you, Jana, for the €249. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll play the original first. So this is, it's actually on Michelle Walks. Because what I did yesterday, I put on MichelleAfterDark. It was unedited. However, it was like cropped a bit. So I guess you could say it was edited. I put that on this channel, but I downloaded the original. The reason why I kind of cropped it a bit is because it's on the website as a vertical video. So it's difficult to kind of watch it on a laptop screen. But downloading it and then uploading it as a YouTube short kind of worked. So let's listen to this. And I've listened to this with AirPods in, and I can kind of make out what Abby's saying now. Now I've listened to it about 1 million times. And she says something along the lines of, don't leave me here, or don't leave me on here, or something like that. So one of the whispers that I couldn't make out last night, I now think I can make out. Okay, so we'll play this 43 seconds, just in case you've been living under a rock and you haven't seen this. You haven't seen the multitude. Like, it's on every Cut TV have done. Have done a segment on it. It's on the news channels. Loads of creators have covered it and talked at length about it, doing various edits on it. So this is just the original. Oh, what I did do, actually, I enhanced the audio. So I didn't manipulate it in any way. I just upped the volume to the max in an editing program, and then exported that, and then uploaded it again to an editing program, and then max the volume so it's loud, so you can hear the whispers. So it's not manipulate, the audio is not manipulated or distorted in any way. I've just upped the volume. so it's easier to hear. Now, there is a whisper there, and I think that is Abby. And I don't know whether she's saying, is he here? Or he's here? I can't make that one out. So that was Don't Leave Me Here, I think.
This is the path that we go down.
And that no, people last night were saying that's the "that be a gun" statement. And now I've heard it, I can actually hear "that be a gun," but I don't know that that's what she's actually saying, because it kind of doesn't make sense in the sentence. It could be, is he still here? But I don't know why she just doesn't look round. Like, I don't really understand why, if Abby was really scared, why wouldn't she be looking round? Or maybe she was, what it looks to me is that she's concentrating on where she's walking, because she'd never walked the entire bridge before. So I think she's concentrating on what she's, where she's walking. She's walking quite cautiously. But once you've heard "that be a gun," it sounds like "that be a gun," but it doesn't make sense in the context. And Libby doesn't sound worried at all. Libby just sounds like normal voice. It's like she's narrating a video. It's like she's talking to her phone, narrating a video. I don't know that that's what she's doing. But if they were videoing him, why isn't Libby like pointing the camera at him? This is the thing. I don't know what the context is. I don't know what we're actually seeing here. Like, did Libby turn the camera on because she was nervous? But she doesn't sound nervous. So did she just have the camera on anyway? And was just kind of filming? Or what?
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
There's no path going down there, so we have to go down here. So Abby running kind of would indicate maybe she's scared, that she realizes he's still coming, so she runs, but then she stops. Why don't they run? I don't understand why they don't run. Like, if they were really scared, are they frozen? Like, are they at a point where they're not really thinking straight? But then again, Libby sounds really calm. So I don't know. I don't know what we're seeing. And that's a problem, given that this was central to the state's conviction of Richard Allen. We don't know what we're even seeing here. Elena, thank you for the £10. Is he here? They were low there to meet Anthony Shots, in my opinion. You could be right. You could be right. I don't know. I just don't know what we're seeing. I'm more confused. I'm more confused than ever. Like I said, I'm glad that I didn't watch anyone else's lives before I went live last night, or else I would have just been in a state of absolute confusion. Like, it looked like to me at face value on first watch is that they were heading somewhere already, that they were going down there already. They'd already gone to the south side of the bridge. I don't know, to walk the path down there. I mean, it's private property, but still. Another thing I thought was maybe they were originally heading to Abby's house, because you can get to Abby's house that way. But then they saw this guy, so they thought, well, we'll just try and lose him. But it does sound that they were going down there, down that hill already. And that then begs the question, was that their plan? Is that what they were going to do? And then maybe walk back through the creek and then walk back, and that would have been just in good time for meeting Libby's dad. So was that their plan? Or had they spoken to BG previous and decided to go that way with him, but then maybe got nervous and Libby turned the camera on, just in case? I don't know. I don't know what we're seeing. Guys down the hill. Guys down the hill. That's clearer though. That I mean, I know it's low volume, but it's clearer than what they put out. What the Indiana State Police put out. It's clearer. Yeah, she says what? So he says, guys. She says what? He says down the hill. Now, some people have said that she says hi. So instead of, guys, and then she says hi, and then he says down the hill. Either or. I personally hear what? Like what? Like. But it could be high. I just don't hear high. Either or. Like she responds. She responds. She makes some kind of response. And then he says down the hill. Let's just start off. Maybe she didn't expect him speaking to them, which would indicate that they hadn't spoken to him previous. That they had planned to go that way anyway, and he'd followed them. And then she's surprised when he says guys, when he actually addresses them. I don't know. All right, this is my edited version here. So it's 10% speed for most of it. And then at the end where they're talking, I've left it normal speed. But I've changed the orientation so that it's more upright. Bob compared the voice to Richard Allen talking to his wife, and the voices sound completely different, more like Logan. Well, I'll show you my video. I've done a couple of voice comparison videos. I mean, look, they're not great because, like, guys down the hill, you've literally got 4 words. So it's impossible to do. Not that I'm an expert in any way, shape or form. It's just basic common sense. But even like a professional voice analysis person wouldn't be able to do an analysis of the voice compared to other voices. There's just not enough. Now I did. It's a while ago. I did a couple of different ones. Here we go. So Delphi voice comparison, Richard Allen, Brad Holder, Ron Logan, and Patrick Westfall. So let's listen to this. I'm going to do a little voice comparison, Logan's voice, because some people... Okay. We're going to do Richard, Brad, Ron, Patrick. And then at the end, I'm going to kind of just run them a few times, like right after each other, so that you can get a comparison of all the 4 voices, if that makes sense. So let me know in the comments which you think sounds most like Bridge Guy. We've got to remember, we don't know for sure that Bridge Guy actually said guys down the hill. We assume that it's Bridge Guy's voice, but we don't know. There might be somebody else there. I'm just saying Bridge Guy for the... No, it honestly doesn't look like on the video that there's another person there. If there is, then they're completely off camera. Like there's no other shadows. Like I've been looking at shadows and trying to think, right, that's Libby's shadow, and then we get Abby in the picture, so then that's Abby's shadow. There's only 2 shadows, but I don't know. There could have been someone waiting down the hill. There could have been someone waiting down there. Do you think the defence knew that the time of the video was wrong before the trial, or did they only after his testimony? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not for the defence. It's for the state to correct. If the state knows that there is testimony that has been stated that is incorrect, and they don't seek to rectify it, that's their problem. The defence doesn't have to do anything. The defence has no burden. Remember, the defence has no burden in a trial. The state has the burden, not the defence. The defence could literally just sit there and say not a word, not one word. And the jury shouldn't take that as a bad thing, because it's the state's burden. Now, of course, you don't see a trial where the defence don't do anything at all, but you know, it pays for them to cross-examine, but it's not their burden. Ease, I guess, but it could be a Bridge Guy rather than the Bridge Guy. So the voice comparison is with the audio that Libby took on her phone very bravely shortly before her and Abby were abducted and murdered. All right, let me know in the comments what you think of this voice comparison video. Which one is the closest to the audio from Libby's phone? And I'm going to say I don't think any of them sound particularly like Bridge Guy. I'm going to say that. Enjoy.
There's the word show coming up. 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 There's the word show coming up.
Now, I don't think that Bridge Guy sounds like Richard Allen. Richard Allen's got more of an accent. I don't know what accent, but he's got more of an accent. But because we've only got 4 words, guys down the hill, it's difficult.
There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you?
I actually think that BG sounds more like Brad Holder. However, BG isn't Brad Holder. I don't think BG is Brad Holder, but he sounds more like him than Richard.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you? You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you?
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for information.
Now, the reason I use that little phrase and not down the hill, I know like loads of people in the comments to this video said, Michelle, Ron Logan actually said down the hill. But I didn't want to use that because it's an unfair, because no other person has actually said down the hill to camera. So I didn't use that. I just used a random phrase like I did for any of the others.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for information. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for information.
There ain't nothing wrong with Posture.
I don't know. I don't know about Ron Logan. I don't know that it sounds like him, honestly. Look, any of them could. And as we know now, the Down the Hill that was released by the Indiana State Police isn't as clear as we hear it on the original. It's crazy.
All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe. There ain't nothing wrong with Posture. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe. There ain't nothing wrong with Posture. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
There's the word show coming up.
Patrick Westphal sounds like the guys. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. But one thing I can say is I personally don't think that Richard Allen sounds like Bridge Guy. I think Patrick Westphal is similar. I think it's the same accent. But we know that BG isn't Patrick Westphal because Patrick Westphal's like a giant. He's like 6'4" or 6'5", and I don't think BG's that tall. I also did one with Elvis Fields. I have another video with Elvis Fields. I don't know whether I did it before or after. I think it was after. So let me find that. I'm pretty sure it was on this channel. So that's the one we just watched. Maybe it's more recent. I didn't think, no, I don't know where it is. I definitely did one with Elvis Fields. Hold on. That was Delphi. I hate YouTube. Like, the playlist section's stupid. All right. It's quite a while ago that I did it. It was well before the trial. You know when you know you know when you know. You know when you know it's there and you just can't see it. Well, this is what I'm doing here. Because I know I did it. I know I did it. I know I did Ellis Fields. Because it took me ages to find an Elvis Fields clip. I found one of him talking to his cat. You know when you make too many videos, when even you can't find it in a playlist. Maybe I should just search voice. Maybe it'll come up then. See, that's the one we just watched. Why can I not find it? That's so annoying. Hold on. Good morning, everyone. My name is
Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama. Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama.
Guys. 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 Guys.
What do you think?
Guys. Guys.
Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama. Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama.
Guys.
Shit, I was muted. That's weird. So StreamYard muted me because I didn't click my mic. I didn't click anything. That was bizarre. All right, we're sorted. You can hear me now, can't you? I get sick of these glitches in StreamYard. I really do. All right. All right, we should be okay now.
Downhill. Guys. Downhill. Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama. Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama. Guys. Downhill. Guys. Downhill. Guys. Downhill. Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama. Oh, rain on your head. Oh, well, I'll smack your mama. Guys. Downhill. Guys. Downhill. Guys.
Look, I think what I was saying when I was mysteriously muted was Elvis Spears has got like a strong accent, like Rick Allen has got quite a strong accent. And I don't think BG sounds like he's got a really strong accent. However, because we only hear 4 words, it's impossible to tell. You're too southern, yeah. Anyhow, I came to show you this video, really. So this is 10% speed, so it's very slow. It's not frame by frame, it's not that slow, but it just gives you a good idea of what's actually happening. Not that it matters, because we don't know the context of this. I think we'll never know. We'll never know why Abby and Libby were there. Like, if they knew a guy was following them, they must have already been on the bridge and they realised they can't turn round. I don't know. I just don't know. So I zoom this in. And then I keep kind of repositioning so that you get Abby like central. And there you can see BG. So they're on, he's parallel with the end of the last platform. So just I did a quick measure on Google Earth from the end of that last platform to where I think Abby is, and it's around 50 feet. But I couldn't say for sure how far Abby was from the end of the bridge at this point. But I would estimate around 50 feet. So it doesn't look like he's very far behind. And he's gaining on her. Like he's walking quicker than she is, so he is gaining on her. However, he's not right behind her. Is that a turn up on his jeans? I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Why is it not moving? What's going on here? Why is it not moving? That's weird. What's your little problem now? Oh, it's not moving. It's not doing anything. It's new linear. Yeah. Why? Oh. Hold on. I'll put this back on. All right, we're good now. It's like a StreamYard. StreamYard glitching. It does this with videos sometimes. So, like I was saying, I've tried to keep Abby central, and I'm going to estimate about 50 feet away from her at this point. And she's speaking. So one of the whispers that we hear is definitely from Abby, because she is speaking. But she doesn't look, in my opinion, she doesn't look really scared. Like she smiles at one point. Now, yeah, that could be a nervous smile. But I think she's more concentrating on the bridge rather than him behind her. I think she's aware of him. She's obviously aware of him. She's obviously aware of him. And then he stands. He stops. Like he puts both feet together. He stops. Like he gets like this side of this platform, and he stops for a handful of seconds. So what's he doing? Is he contemplating what he's going to do next, or what? She's laughing about being on that bridge. Yeah, it's like she's concentrating more on the bridge than she is him. Looking at the stock market. He's got his hands in his pockets, so I don't know how he'd be doing that, but okay. He's walking again now. And he's walking quicker than she is.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
And also, I don't know why she turned it off there. Like, is she been filming because she was nervous of him? Like, she just got a bad feeling about him, so she started filming. Why, when he spoke to them, did she stop? I think it says that we go down. Yeah, I think it's that we go down rather than that be a gun. Now I've got it in my head, you kind of hear that. Well, I kind of hear that be a gun, but I think she says that we go down. That's the path we go down. So she's got to the end of the bridge, or she's already on the end of the bridge. But once Abby's got to the end of the bridge, then that's the path we go down. I don't hear that be a gun unless I program my brain to hear that be a gun. Why would Libby cross the bridge first? Because Libby was confident with the bridge, because she'd done the bridge like many times. But Abby had never been across the bridge. Abby was nervous about crossing the bridge. So I think, this is just my opinion and we'll never know, I think Libby persuaded Abby to go across the bridge and said, you only have to go across. We can just go across the creek to go back. So you only have to cross it once. That's what I think they were doing. I think Libby was filming Abby because she'd taken a photograph of Abby. that mysteriously disappeared off her phone. So I don't know, but there's a photo of Abby that was on Snapchat at 2:07, even though it's not on Libby's phone. It's weird. And she's maybe a third of the way across the bridge at 2:07. So this is 2:13 into 2:14. And I think Libby took that photo of Abby, shared it on Snapchat, and then she starts filming. Now, did she start filming because she wanted to memorialize that Abby had got to the end of the bridge? Or did she start filming because there was a guy behind her that made her feel a bit uncomfortable? Or is it that she's filming Abby and it just so happens that he's there in the background? And it just so happens that he's got ill intent? Because what I don't understand is why she stops filming as soon as she realizes that he's actually there for them. Like, surely that would be the time when you keep the phone on. I don't understand. Even if you slip the phone in your pocket. This is why I don't understand what we're seeing here. I've got so many different confused thoughts about it. I don't know what we're seeing here for that reason. And I really don't like being in that position, especially when this was a key piece of evidence that convicted Richard Allen to prison for 130 years, when we don't even know what we're seeing. It just feels wrong. Feels really wrong.
See, this is the path that we go down.
Yeah, she says, this is the path that we go down. This is the path that we go down. That makes more sense than this is the path that be a gun. That doesn't make sense. And surely, if you realise that this guy's got a gun, you're not going to just carry on talking about the path. I don't get it. If you're filming because there's a creepy guy behind you, and then you realise he's got a gun, you don't just carry on as calm as you like talking about the path. It doesn't make sense in the context.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
So Abby's like run straight ahead, and Libby has said there's no path there. This is where we go. You'd run, wouldn't you? Like, unless he told you to freeze, like stop running or I'll shoot you. Unless you actually get a direction, if you think someone's got a gun, you'd run. Or you do, what would you do? You wouldn't just carry on talking about the path. You just wouldn't. You just wouldn't carry on talking about the path. Like directing, like Abby's running ahead. And Libby calls her back, like, this is the path we go, this way. Like, there's no path that way, this way. Like, if you were really scared of a man with a gun, you'd actually carry on, because there's a couple of houses that you can see through the trees. They're not dead close, but wouldn't you head towards those houses rather than going down that hill once you realise that he's there? Or you realise he's close and he's got a gun, or you think he might have a gun. I honestly do not think she says that be a gun. It doesn't make sense. given how calm she is. I think maybe Abby got nervous when she was on the bridge. But when she said, she like whispered something like, "Don't leave me here," or something, I think she maybe thought that Libby was just going to go on ahead of her and she'd not got all the ways over the bridge yet. So she didn't want to be left on the bridge with this creepy guy. But I don't think either of them felt that they were in imminent danger. She says that we go down. She does. That's the path that we go down. And then she reiterates that to Abby when Abby runs past, because Abby's going to run on ahead. It's like, no, we go down here. This is the path down here. And you can actually see the path. It's about 10, 12 feet. Quite a steep little decline, but it's not that far. Koala, I remember, for 9 months. Abby says, could that be before Libby starts? I don't know. I can't hear what Abby says when she passes Libby. But they stand there. It's like they're waiting for him. If you were really terrified, you would be running now. Unless you're like literally frozen with fear to the spot. And I don't get the sense that they're frozen with fear. I don't know, obviously. But I don't get the sense that they're frozen with fear. Certainly not Libby. I don't get that sense. And, you know, they had at least 50 feet on him. They had at least 50 feet. Like, Libby could have run. Libby could easily have run. But obviously she wouldn't want to leave Abby there. But there was no urgency. There was no urgency in Libby, like hurrying Abby. Like, if Libby was filming because she was nervous of BG, wouldn't she be saying, hurry up? Wouldn't she be saying, just hurry up? She wouldn't just stand there. Yeah, they were chill. I think Abby was maybe nervous, but I think because of the bridge, like she was stepping very cautiously. Libby was as fine as you like. There was no urgency in Libby's voice whatsoever. Not at all. She was talking about the path as calm as anything. Libby, and look, if you thought there's a creepy guy coming to get you, I don't care how calm you are in a crisis, you're going to hear it in a voice. You're going to hear some, you know, a rising, whatever, the rising pitch slightly. You'd have to be almost comatose to not, if a creepy guy was like heading towards you, to not react at all. I really don't think Libby was scared. And I think Abby was nervous of the bridge. I don't think either of them realised what danger they were in until he got right there. Or else they would have made an effort to run. I think, because they had the time. They had the time. I'm not blaming them in any way, obviously, but I'm just saying that they didn't realise that there was imminent danger. So it's incredibly, incredibly sad seeing this and realising that they were in imminent danger and they didn't realise. I mean, look, I'll tell you what, when I was watching Abby walking across the bridge, I was thinking, if that had been me and a guy was following me, This was me when I was 13, right? This was me when I was 13. I'm not saying I'd do it now, but I was gung-ho ready to go when I was 13. So if I thought there was someone coming up behind me on a high bridge like that, I would have literally run at him and pushed him off. And ask questions later. Because that's what I was like. I've done stuff not quite as bad as that, but I asked questions later when I was that age, because I was, you know, when you have a dominant response when you're under threat or you're stressed. You know, it's fight, flight, flee. No, fight, flight, freeze, or flop. I was definitely fight. Definitely fight. But I'd have pushed him off the bridge. I'd have just turned around, ran at him and pushed him off the bridge. Mad, bad and dangerous. How far is it down? It's a fair way, isn't it? Then I'd have had to make up a story as to why he was dead. Nana, remember for 7 months, possibly Ron Logan taking them to see his horses. Well, yeah, maybe. And look, if she was nervous, right, of him coming up behind her, wouldn't she be looking over her shoulder? Like at least once. Wouldn't she have looked over her shoulder at least once? But she doesn't. She's concentrating on the bridge. She's looking down, concentrating on the bridge. I don't see Abby being really scared of the guy behind her. Not saying she wasn't aware of him at all. But I'm not saying she felt that she was in imminent danger. Not once has she looked behind her. Not once. Like she's looking at Libby. She says something, but then she focused back down, looking at those holes in that bridge. And I think anybody who was nervous of the height and was nervous of the bridge would be doing the same. And surely Libby's got a full view of BG there. Like full view of BG. If she realised that he was catching up, wouldn't she have said, hurry up? Like hurry up, we've got to go. Or something. Surely. Car sounds on the video. Yeah, there's a road nearby. I mean, I don't mean the private drive. I mean the county road north. It's right nearby. Like as the crow flies, it's very close. It's over only the other side of the cemetery. So you can hear the occasional car go by. You can. But it's not close.
See, this is the path that we go down.
This is the path that we go down. And then she carries on. Abby runs by her, and she carries on talking about the path.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
So Abby runs by as if she's going to go in a straight line, and Libby says, there's no path there. We have to go here. We have to go down here. think they're nervous. I honestly don't think they're nervous. I don't think they believe they're in any in imminent danger. I honestly don't. And the more I watch it, the more I believe that. But my question is, why is Libby filming? Is it because she's filming that Abby's walked across the bridge? Is she filming because she does videos? Maybe she makes videos. I don't know. Like, she sounds like she's narrating a video. Or is she filming because, just in case, because there's a creepy guy behind her? But yet she doesn't make any effort to hurry Abby along. There's no stress at all in her voice, none. And then if she was filming because she felt she was in imminent danger, and then he actually addresses her and says down the hill, why does she stop filming? It doesn't make sense. Why does she stop filming? Why does she stop filming? So that's the private drive there that you can see. So you've got about, it's steep, but it's not long, if you will. It's only maybe 10, 12 feet down there. And then you go over there, and then there, where that little ridge is there, that's about maybe 20 feet down. And that takes you to the wooded area that is flat, where the creek is. All right, I'm going to go now because I'm exhausted. I'll just play the original one more time, though. This is the original. And then I'm going to go because I'm really tired. So, there you go.
So this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
All right. I really don't think they believe that they were in imminent danger. I honestly don't. There's no stress at all in Libby's voice. None. Not at all. And sure, you could be, the coolest cucumber in the world. And I honestly don't think you would stay that calm. Especially if you thought that he had a gun. I don't think you would think you were that, you were that cool that you could keep totally calm. So, people who were saying, oh, they were terrified. I don't think they were. I don't think they were at all. I think that's the moment when she turns the camera off that she realizes that there's danger. But I don't understand why she turned the camera off. I don't. I honestly don't. Thank you, Claire, for the £2. When Abby is running, she says, this is the path. She might do. I don't think she's talking about the guy, BG. I don't think she is. I think the way that she was behaving on the bridge, if you're sensing some kind of nervousness from Abby, I think it's because she's staring down. She's not staring behind her. Not once did she look behind her to see how close he was. She just carried on looking down and being cautious with where she was stepping because she was nervous about the bridge. And honestly, if Libby could see him gaining on him, like, and she could see him like catching up to Abby, wouldn't she just say, hurry up, come on, we gotta go, or something along those lines? I just don't see how that there's any sense of danger. I just don't. But then again, I don't know what I don't know what we're looking at. I don't know what we're looking at. It's not how scared people act. No, like, even if you were frozen in fear, you wouldn't be saying anything. If you were frozen in fear, you wouldn't be saying anything, and you wouldn't have thought to turn the camera off. The camera would just keep going if you were frozen in fear. So the question remains, why were they going down the hill in the first place? Were they going down the hill because that was their plan? That maybe Libby had coaxed Abby across the bridge and said, it's okay, you don't have to go back over, we'll just go this way. We go this way down this hill, and we go over the creek, and then we're back, you know, up the other side. Or had they met BG previous and they knew he was there, and that's why they weren't scared, because they knew he was there and they knew who he was? Or was he meeting someone else? Were they meeting someone? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. And that's why we absolutely cannot use this. The state had such a weak case that they used this as their basis for a conviction of a man for a double homicide of 2 children, and he got 130 years for it. This video and a confession that is provably false. Now listen, if Richard Allen's appeal, this is appeal, this is the case summary, new case number and everything. If this appeal gets turned down at the first hurdle, whatever that hurdle is, because I'm not very familiar at all with the appeals process, given the amount of problems that are wrong with this case, if this appeal gets nowhere at all, there is something deeply, deeply dark and deeply wrong in the state of Indiana. Not just in Carroll County, not just in the mind of Judge Gould, but in the entire state of Carroll County, the entire state of Indiana. Let's hope that is not. Let's hope that is not the case, because there's so much here that is wrong. Legally, so much that is wrong. Okay, I'm going to go because I'm absolutely exhausted. I've had about, I don't know, 3 hours sleep, maybe 4 hours. Like in not even in one like solid stint. I'm not going to bed. It's only 8 o'clock. I'm going to try and stay awake till about 11, because if I go to sleep before that, I'll wake up at like 1 a.m. totally awake. I'm trying to stay up, and then hopefully I'll go to sleep like properly at a proper time. But it's only 8 p.m, so I'm going to go out for a walk in a bit. That'll keep me awake. It's cold outside. That'll definitely keep me awake. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks as always to the mods. We had a bunch of donations in this live stream. We had Krista. We had, let me go down here. We had Purple AJ gifting 10 memberships. We had Rachel, Kimberly, Jana, Elena, and Claire. Oh, Kimberly gifted 5 memberships. I think that was it. But great, thank you all. So Enjoy the rest of your day. 3 p.m. for AKA Radar. 3 p.m. All right, I'm going. I'm gone. Bye, guys.